You are now listening to the RSL Show on KSL Sports, Utah's largest sports network. Your number one source for everything Real Salt Lake. Utah's number one rated Real Salt Lake podcast.
Welcome in. It is a brand new edition of the RSL Show here on the KSL Sports Network. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Josh Clark. Carson Lantz joining as we get back for the new year, guys. It's time to start up the brand new 2026 MLS season. Real Salt Lake will be back in action in just a few months, but preseason right around the corner. Friday is the reporting day. That's where players will come in. They'll start their medicals. They'll start getting ready, and preseason is upon us, guys. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been nice to take a little break. It's been a couple months now. Got through the holidays. Now we're back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been good. A lot of break and a whole lot of nothing. And so this new year is starting off good and just busy with work and school, and now back on the podcast with you guys.
There we go, man. We're happy to be back. Happy to be back for another season. Happy to be covering Real Salt Lake for another year. Unfortunately, though, not much has happened. We told you guys the last time we jumped on here that the second some big news happened, we would jump on. But the reality is there's been nothing as far as Real Salt Lake goes. Plenty of other teams making moves. Christian Espinoza just signed a free agent contract with Nashville. Plenty of other teams making some big moves. We got Walker Zimmerman joining Toronto. A bunch of other stuff happening around Major League Soccer. We'll get into maybe some of the Inter Miami stuff here at the end, but Real Salt Lake still yet to make any big moves coming in. However, there are two major moves going out, and we'll start with the one that was announced first, and that was Brian Vera.
Willie Ogata. Oh.
Hey, Willie Ogata is a big loss, man. I'll miss him.
Yeah, you're funny. Anyway, so the two big losses, Alex, who would they be?
So the first one is left-footed defender Brian Vera. His option was picked up in the offseason a couple months ago, and then we get the rumors and the rumblings that he was on his way to Montreal, and then sure enough, within a couple of days, the official announcement is made by Montreal. Brian Vera on the move. Real Salt Lake losing a starting center back here in the offseason.
Yeah, it's a major bummer, right? Not the starting center back I would have liked to move.
Yeah.
I know Vera had issues at times last year, but I think he was a fan favorite and a lot of potential. He's a good player. So I'm quite
like the move. Who would you like to move? No, who would you move instead of Vera though?
Oh, Justin Glad.
Yeah, that's
if I had to pick one of the two starters
out of the bag.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of the two starters to move, it's Justin Glad.
We have been talking about Justin Glad moving on for a couple of preseasons now. And yet somehow Justin Glad has been able to find his way to stick around, and then you move on from Brian Vera.
Yeah, Justin Glad's always every off season. It's every day he posts his training videos of him putting in the work, but then it comes to the season and none of those have really paid off at all. So
Carson coming in with the fire early on in the season, man. Jeez.
So negative today.
I know. I don't like the move at all. I think Brian Vera, as Josh mentioned, there's still some untapped potential there. Obviously, he has his issues sometimes with the temperament and the red cards, but overall, just he was a phenomenal starting center back for Real Salt Lake, and it's disappointing because he is on. It's disappointing, but the move makes sense because he is on a final year of a contract, and from everything that I've been able to gather, it was a move him now before you let him go on a free.
Yeah, and I think that's the disappointing part with both of these moves, right? Both Brian's, is that they didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hurts the most, right?
Absolutely.
So those are my two big
It's the fact that you have two guys who have not made it, haven't made it not known that they want to move to Europe, right? They've been vocal about their dreams and their aspirations, and they've been vocal about them wanting to move overseas. Specifically, Brian Ojeda, who's the other player who's moved on. Ojeda, who went on the Peregrine radio station, right, late last season, and said, "Hey, I'm ready to move back to Europe, and I'm ready to make the next step in my career," which also hurts in the sense that he is staying in Major League Soccer. And so we move on to talk about Brian Ojeda, who I think is a massive, massive loss for Real Salt Lake.
I think it definitely hurts a little bit that because we all knew he wanted to go back to Europe, and then to see that, that Bogert report or post where Ojeda to Orlando City, here we go. Let's throw a little Fabrizio in there. But it definitely hurts because Ojeda definitely probably our best player last season. And we all knew the move was going to happen sooner or later, but there was never any confirmation if a Europe team was calling, and then all of a sudden Orlando comes in and they're like, hey, we one Ojeda wasn't enough. We need another one, and so they took our Ojeda, and so now another team in the MLS have Brian Ojeda, and that's our best player from the 2025 MLS season gone.
Yeah,
it does. At least he didn't go to Miami.
At least he didn't go to Miami. In the sense of Brian Ojeda, it makes sense for him, I think, at this point of his career to move on, right? He's not the U22 initiative player that originally came to Real Salt Lake a couple of years ago. He's now 25. It's the prime of his career. A move to Europe is what makes most sense. But I think for looking at it from a business perspective from Real Salt Lake, they had to move on now and make some of that money, or let him walk completely on a free. And I think that would have been an even major loss. So I think while it does sting and it does suck that he's still in Major League Soccer and now he's going to be taking his talents and playing somewhere else and being that amazing player that we know him to be with another team inside the league, but you at least make some money off of that.
100%. And we know, that the club needs the money to then go replace other players, right? So it is a net positive. It just really sucks that fan favorites are leaving and staying in the league. And I think it's kind of a bummer I feel bad for them for not getting any offers from Europe that were good enough either.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm bummed for us and I'm bummed for both Brians, to be honest.
Yeah. I hope Montreal and Orlando do right by them and help facilitate some move to Europe. And so that way they can get to where they want to be. And I hopefully they're not long-term players in another conference and another team inside Major League Soccer, because you're going to see them, you're going to face off against them, and it's going to really suck to see Brian Ojeda in an Orlando City jersey. Brian Ojeda in an Orlando City jersey.
100%. At least they went to the Eastern Conference.
That's probably the only positive about it.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as looking at it from the RSL fan perspective, that's probably the only positive about it. Because imagine,
Colorado, SKC,
exactly right.
Seattle,
exactly.
So Seattle wouldn't surprise me. They'd take all of our players, and coaches.
Not as much anymore.
Definitely not.
But that used to be the trend. Brian Ojeda moves on. Brian Vera moves on. Those are two starting players, two key pieces for Real Salt Lake last season who are no longer a part of this team as you head into the 2026 season. Now, Josh, you brought up a really good point earlier. You want to use that money to bring in new players. But the rumor mill, the transfer market has not been kind to Real Salt Lake as far as bringing players in, because so far the only signings that Real Salt Lake have been able to announce this offseason are the retaining of Kobe Henry, which I'm pretty happy about.
I'm happy but puzzled.
Mm-hmm. Why puzzled?
They didn't use him last year.
Yes.
Especially after the injury, right? He just played for the Monarchs.
Yeah.
And there were plenty of opportunities for him to maybe see some minutes.
Right. With how much suspensions were on that back line, with him, injuries. I can't remember how many injuries were on the back line, but regardless, there was probably options there for him to get more first team minutes, and for some reason that just didn't happen.
Right.
I feel like adding to that about Kobe Henry that Josh said is we didn't use him, and then because we had that clause where we could buy him after the loan expired, and
for cheap,
which we activated. Yeah. But at the same time, it's what's the plan with Kobe Henry? He had plenty of opportunities to see the first team last season, and so it's okay, we were talking about this a little bit. what can someone elaborate to us? Like, what's the plan here?
Yeah.
Because we're just like throwing money at players that like haven't even like showed us they can play in the first team. But
Hold
anyways,
on to that thought, Carson,
yeah,
because the same thing can be said about the other two transfers that Real Salt
yeah,
Lake has been able to bring in this offseason. And that is Chance Cowell, the 17-year-old from the San Jose Academy, brother of Cade Cowell, who Cade Cowell, by the way, back in Major League Soccer. Good for him. And then you have Zach Booth, who's joining Real Salt Lake on loan from Excelsior in the Netherlands, brother of Tyler Booth, or Taylor Booth. Taylor Booth.
Yep.
So you're picking up brothers of U.S. men's national team prospects.
Yep. Brothers of guys that are better than them.
Hey, so Chance is due national, just like Kate is, and so best case scenario, we can get him a couple minutes, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, and then
Sell him off
have
for
a
$4 million to
Liga
Chivas.
MX team come call on and overpay for one of our players again. So
To this day, I'm still shocked at. To this day, I am still shocked that Chivas brought down $4 million for Fidel Barajas, and then and then immediately decided to do nothing with him.
Wild. I'm fine with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was probably the best offer on the table you were going to get for Fidel, and then Chivas turns around and doesn't do anything with him, and now I think he was back in Major League Soccer for a little bit.
He was on loan with DC United,
and now I think he's on loan somewhere in Liga MX. But anyway, something like that could happen with Chance Cowell, I guess.
No, it absolutely could, right? But right now, I feel like we're in the roster filling stage.
Yeah,
stage is the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
Of the process, right? I'm hoping this is the case. These are those bottom end guys that are probably going to get more minutes with the Monarchs and are prospects, right? This is my hope. If this is like the peak of the level of signing, we're in actual trouble. But I'm going to hold faith that that's not the case.
Right. I think the unfortunate part, but also the good part, is the window's open till April. Right. So you have until April to make moves that you want to make. It's just
you just miss the entire preseason and take forever to gel.
It's the conversation that we continue to have over and over again. What did Pablo Mastroeni say about Victor Olatunji on the way out last season? He'll be good with the preseason under his belt.
And we're looking at, I don't know, up to
what was the conversation?
8-9 players that could be missing preseason.
What was the conversation that Real Salt Lake had about Dominic Markchik and Diogo Gonçalves?
Diogo.
In the preseason.
You could go Crooks. You could go, I don't know. Yeah. We need them to have preseasons.
Right. It's just the Real Salt Lake way to bring in a player in March, and then when things don't go their way with the player, you give they just need a preseason, and then they get their preseason, and I mean the jury's still out with Olatunji and quite frankly Ruan Cruz, but I
really like them, to be fair.
Dominic ended up getting loaned out, and then of course you have the elephant in the room of Diogo.
I feel like
we're gonna have another year of that, aren't we?
We are.
I feel like the preseason. Oh, when they get a preseason under their belt, I feel like that's just a cop out answer to
1,000% is, Carson.
To say a player. Look, I have nothing like Victor Olatunji he's good, so like I have no problem with like Pablo saying something like that about a player like Victor Olatunji, but other guys who we haven't seen anything from. And then there's like, hey, like just give them a preseason under their belt. It's such a cop out answer for a play to say like a player is like they're playing bad. It's like a really bad cop out answer to saying, oh, if they get a preseason, maybe they'll be better. And then, yeah,
it's the RSL.
You're a professional soccer player. Like, I don't know. I don't like that answer.
Yeah,
very PR-y, you know.
Well, I guess we'll wait to see again what Victor Olatunji looks like, and of course we'll wait to see what other signings. Like I said, there's still plenty of time in the in the transfer window for Real Salt Lake to make the moves that they want to make to potentially put themselves in a position to be competitive this season. However, right now, the way the roster is, at the time of recording this episode, gentlemen, the roster does not look competitive.
Oh, absolutely not. We're 3 days from preseason.
Yeah.
Nothing on that roster gives you hope, right? It's not complete. There's holes left and right. There's question marks all over the place.
Right. And I think
Right.
while I am excited about the prospect of potentially helping Chance Cowell develop, and I am excited about the prospect of helping Booth develop, the reality is they're improving at MLS level.
Right. And it doesn't move the needle whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
Whatsoever.
You just got to think about how many of, because like I was just thinking about this. How many young guys, these players that have been Monarchs players for like the last couple of years, have we signed in like the last 2-3 seasons? A lot. We've signed a lot of good up and coming young players. So like at this point, I feel like we're like the Oklahoma City Thunder with like draft picks and like all of that. Like we're just stockpiling these things and hoping one of them turns out good. Maybe a couple of them turns out good. And so with the concerns of the roster being there, I can see what that is, but also I'm expecting maybe a lot of younger guys to get some chances this year. Like speaking of chances, like Chance Cal, maybe he'll get a chance. We got
Right.
Rosario and Monarchs. We got Zambrano. We didn't see with the first team at all last season. Like Zambrano's there. Omar Marquez, Aiden Hezerkani. Like we need to see more of him. We got a
Owen
lot of
Anderson.
Owen Henderson. There's like you say all these names though, but guess what they all are? They're attackers. They're all attackers.
Yeah, we have nothing defensively.
Yeah. And
But
so what do we like? It doesn't seem like we have any plan in the defense right now. Besides, like, if anything, I think like Griffin Dillon should definitely be getting like a call up to the first team. If someone from the Monarchs deserved that, it's Griffin Dillon. If we're moving a guy like Ojeda, there's got to be a backup plan because look, Noel Caliscan in the midfield, there's no way they were that impressed with him where they felt comfortable enough to move Ojeda and then not have a backup plan.
if that's the plan, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Absolutely doomed.
Yeah.
But no,
But,
I completely agree with you, Carson. I hope, honestly, I kind of hope you're correct. Right? The roster's basically going to remain as is. Maybe we bring in a center back, spend some money, right? But if they're honest and upfront and say, hey, we're going to give the kids a lot of chances this year so you can actually find those youth prospects that are going to make it, I'm totally for it. Right now, the problem is one guy maybe gets a shot. Like right now, that's Gozo. Everyone else just sits there in obscurity because they're never getting chances.
Right. And
Right?
and we've
Give them
talked
the
about it.
chances.
We've talked about it in the past, Josh. If Real Salt Lake's going to be bad, at least let them be bad by playing these young guys.
Right.
At least let them be bad
and I would be
by
fine with
giving these guys opportunities. But it's the fact that we didn't see Zambrano. It's the fact that, you know, guys like Herzakani are still trying to work their way into the first team. It's the fact that we're relying on Noel Caliscan, who is now 25 and not one of those developing players as he's your starter. Whereas find some young guys who can come in those positions and come in and finally get their chances and finally get their minutes. But it's the fact that it's the fact that the RSL machine keeps spitting out, we're going to win championships and we're going to be competitive, but yet you don't make moves that reflect the comments that you're saying.
Right. And that's kind of what I mean by like be honest about it.
Right.
Don't tell the fan base we're going for a championship this year. Right? Or the goal is always the playoffs. Yeah, we know. But like be honest, we're developing.
If you tell Utah sports fans you're going to go out and you're going to win a championship, they are going to hold you to that.
Right.
But I mean, not to compare apples and oranges, but look at the Utah Jazz. They came out and they straight up said, we are tanking.
Right. And guess what? People still show up.
This is the youth movement. People still show up and they're okay with losing.
It's the Utah way.
But with Real Salt Lake, you come out and you have Jason Christ, right? He takes over as the president of soccer operations or whatever. He comes out in front of the media and he said all the right things. I don't want to knock him, but he comes out and he says, we're going to be competitive for championships. And then it seems like the club isn't making moves to reflect what you're telling us.
Right. And again, they still have time.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But I feel like we just all this just feels the same as every other year. So like our brains automatically tell us this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's no coaches. Maybe that's the issue. We need coaches first and then scout the players.
Yeah, speaking of all these signings, what's not being signed? New players, new coaches.
I think even more concerning than the lack of signings for Real like this offseason, even more so concerning than that right now, is the fact that you are 3 days away from beginning preseason preparations and you don't have a staff.
Are there any left?
Yeah. Your coaching staff right now is Pablo Mastroeni, Anthony Poulos, who's still with the team, and then Mirza, the goalkeeper coach. Though they are still with the team, but Nate Miller is gone. He went and took the head coaching job at the new Boise team. And then Joel Delas and Jamison Olave were let go.
Wild. So we're 50% strength right now with the coaching staff.
I've seen a trend, and we're losing a lot of South Americans. What's going on there?
We lost all the Bryans, and we're losing all the South Americans, man. It's not a good look. Look at all the teams who are good in Major League Soccer. They're stacked with South Americans, man. Come on.
It's ridiculous.
And the one year you do have a bunch of Colombians on the team, Rouse Lake break the record for points.
That was the best half a year ever, man. We all had hope. We all had joy.
That went downhill pretty quick.
Yeah, it's crazy how far the optimism for Real Salt Lake has come since
we were way up here at one point. And
we were gonna win. We were gonna have a first round bye and win the damn championship.
Yep, they were in first place for quite a chunk of that first part of the season.
We were gonna win Champions League, and we were gonna do the thing.
Don't even bring up Champions Cup, man. The fact that Real Salt Lake went into the CONCACAF Champions Cup with what's his face, Forster Ajago as your starting striker, man. That should be grounds for multi-year suspension from the tournament.
Man, remember when he was gonna be the Golden Boot winner?
Oh, come on now.
Is he back? He's back from loan, right?
No. His option was.
They really? Oh, okay.
I told you guys after the fight happened in his USL game. I told you. I was like, no. He's never playing
I remember
again.
that now. Yeah.
He's never playing for RSL again.
Well, time for Zambrano. So.
That's the hope, man. I would love to see some of these kids get some minutes and be the new Justin Glad hometown hero. You know what I mean? We're due, and I feel like this is the stage of this current team in its iteration to do so.
I just need Gozo to go out, score 10 goals, like 10 assists.
I would love that. It'd be incredible.
Get sold for more than what Luna's going to get sold for, if he ever does. But
curious to see again what Pablo, Jason Kreis, and Kurt Schmidt decide to do with the coaching staff. Seems that needs to get sorted out sooner rather than later, as far as filling out the staff and filling out the additions for Pablo Mastroeni as they move into this new season. And curious to see what other moves are up their sleeves, because you do have an open U22 initiative spot. You don't have a DP spot open, but it could potentially open up with Ruan Cruz and his loan. We'll see what happens there, of course, in the summer. And then you have a starting center back spot that I think needs to be absolutely filled no matter what happens.
Henry can't be the answer.
Right. And I know we were just talking about giving young guys the opportunity, but aside from Kobe Henry, and I'm not counting Philip Quinton in this because he's not really that young anymore, but aside from Kobe, there's not really any names that stick out from the Monarchs, from the academy, of defenders who can come in and fill that spot.
No, and I don't want that to sound like a knock at Kobe Henry. Like, I think he's going to get some minutes, and he should.
Right.
I just don't think like we've talked about, we need someone to come in that's better than Glad at this point.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I honestly liked Kobe Henry more at the right back spot in the limited minutes that he got.
Same.
Than the limited minutes he got at center back. I think he has tools to be a solid right back.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And right now it's looking like probably Quinton and Glad.
Yeah.
That can't be your starting center backs for the year.
That
Can't be the best two center backs on the team.
That doesn't scream, I think, to anybody in the league that is an MLS competing center back pair.
Absolutely not. He's a great rotation guy.
Yeah.
But if that's your strongest pair, it's terrifying.
No, so that guy from FC Cincinnati, is that ever going to be confirmed, or is that
haven't heard
anything about that?
Nope.
Dang, so we're really going to go in with probably we don't even know who our starting center back pair is going to be. Is Catranis still going to stay around? Do we know if he's staying around or if he's?
Haven't heard any updates on the Catranis front either.
This is be shocked if he does. What Josh said. Preseason's in 3 days, and we don't know anything. Or our social media team doesn't even can't even post transfer news on time. It's so sus right now. But one staff change was made. And we promoted Joseph Hickman, who was an assistant coach in video analysis at the Monarchs, and now he is the video analysis for Real Salt Lake. So there's one coaching move.
Yeah,
I know.
But you still don't have your assistant.
Because I follow him on LinkedIn, and so my LinkedIn updated me.
There's also one other massive addition coming back to Real Salt Lake. This we can all be stoked about, but Dan Farnes, the Grass Whisperer,
okay. Yes,
is back, baby.
If Real Salt Lake doesn't bring in any major signings, Dan Farnes will go down as the biggest signing of the offseason of 2026.
He might be already. You know how I was complaining about, players coming back? We don't want those players. That's different for Dan. He's the guy I want back.
Absolutely.
That field did not look good last year.
They must have given him a good deal or something. They're like, hey, we'll do no more concerts. Sorry about that.
No more fans on the field for fireworks.
Oh, you can't stop the fans on the field for the fireworks.
Absolutely can. You just stop doing fireworks.
That's family tradition, man. No, actually, stop doing fireworks.
Do the drone show. They're bad for the birds. They scare the dogs.
Exactly.
We have to breathe it for 6 weeks. We're good.
But you can still have fans on the field for the drone shows.
No fans on the field, bro.
Oh, okay. Josh.
No fans on the field.
Fans on the field.
We must be
serious. That field is sacred ground.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was having a conversation. With somebody in the off season, and for some reason we ended up wandering off on a tangent about soccer pitches and how some of them in Major League Soccer are so poor and so bad. And the one that we were talking about specifically was the Sunday game at the New York Red Bulls, because they had a bunch of concerts and they had a bunch of events leading up to that Real Salt Lake game, and the pitch was horrible. Pablo said in the postgame press conference as much, and everybody complained about the pitch down there over in New York. And that was the conversation we had, and I was like, I think Real Salt Lake's been extremely lucky to have the grounds crew that they have, because the field at America First always looks pristine. And it's going to get even better, and real grass, and it's going to get even better now with Dan back.
I mean, there's a reason they've been, Cruise of the Year, Groundskeeper Cruise of the Year, so
right.
They know what's up. This is the most I'm stoked about RSL. The Dan's back, elated.
Yep. Other big news for us, I think you were able to retain your best defender in last season, and that's Sam Junka, who decides to re-extend his contract and stay with Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, imagine the panic we would be feeling right now if he didn't resign.
Yes. I mean, that's
the unknown. Junqua leaves. Dude, we would be
right. The backline's already a big unknown as it is. Just looking at the depth right now, it does not look good. And on top of that, if you would have lost Sam Junka, ugh.
With all the potential of Catranis not sticking on, I'm not confident he's going to be here.
I'm not either.
So
I'm still holding to the a move will be made for Catranis.
We'll see, man. Yeah. My biggest wish list right now is a defensive player or 3 and your top level freaking center midfielder. You know what I mean?
I think, yes. I think you need a Neda Manoaha type.
Yeah, like an older, really good center back that's going to come in and teach Kobe Henry what to do.
Exactly.
Walker Zimmerman was right there.
Walker Zimmerman was right freaking there, but
He went to Toronto, out of all places, but
Toronto's reloading.
yeah, Toronto's trying to make some moves. Hopefully it works out for them better than it did last time they tried to do this.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
yeah, they're not doing the Italian stuff anymore.
Toronto's been making some moves this offseason. Real Salt Lake have not. And I think I'm right there with Josh. I think the glaring needs right now for Real Salt Lake is you need a starting center back and you need a starting midfielder. I don't think a starting midfielding pairing of Emeka Nelly and Noel Caliscan really moves the needle.
Nelson Palacio has to come back.
Right. And so that's my next point. Where does this all leave Nelson Palacio, and where does it, quite frankly, leave Pablo Ruiz?
Right. I think that's the midfield four we see next season. Genuinely.
I don't think Pablo Ruiz is very happy taking back seat.
No, I think you go starter wise. I think you go Ruiz and Ellie.
Yeah.
Right. I think Palacio still isn't a starter, but will be a good third option, and Caliscan needs to stay the fourth option. I bet you opening day we see Caliscan starting because he's a good communicator. But yeah, I think there's quality there, but that Ojeda loss is just massive.
It's massive,
it's
man.
A big one.
It's massive. And I think honestly, he played a big part into the Emeka Nelly All-Star role.
I think so too.
That pairing,
man, needed that supporting cast.
Absolutely,
Nelly couldn't have done that by himself.
Absolutely. And now I'm curious to see kind of where, if it is Ruiz, and I'm sure it probably will be, but if it is Ruiz and Anelli, I'm curious to see which one does the defensive dirty and which one does the more creative outlet. And I mean, obviously, right, the easy answer should be Ruiz is the more creative and the Anelli is the more defensive dirty. But I felt like it was opposite. I felt like Anelli was more of the creative and Ojeda was a little bit of the more defensive dirty. So I wonder how that dynamic is going to look in the midfield once those roles are reversed.
Yeah, I hope whoever comes in is going to be more of a Beckerman or Everton type guy, though.
Yeah.
Someone to really shield that back line and do a good job at it.
Yeah, you need an enforcer. And I mean, even with the Ruiz and Ojeda, with Anelli and Ojeda pairing, there wasn't an enforcer.
No, we haven't had an enforcer, a genuine enforcer, since Everton.
Ever since Beckerman retired, or Everton as well, but when Everton left, we have all these like versatile midfielders, but we don't have a dog as CDM. We don't have a guy that is locking down that midfield day in, day out, like who just sits back and defends. Yeah. All of our guys like to get up in the attack, and I think we really need to find a guy who is that guy in the midfield.
Yes. But I think the way that Pablo Mastroeni's system works is you want both of them to do both as much as you possibly can, right? That's the roles of the pivots.
Yeah,
it changes like every year. Like, yeah, it clearly doesn't work. Our outside backs get too involved, so then it leaves us exposed because we're having attacking outside backs, and then both of our midfielders are getting the attack, and then we leave Justin Glad on an island, and that's why we're getting scored on so much.
Right. The problem with our pivot is they don't pivot.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
So you might as well just have one sit.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Anyway, that would make me happy. A signing like that would make me happy.
Oh, we'll see what happens, man.
It just makes you think too, as well. Like I'm looking at like the roster right here. If Junkwa is a starting center back, who's our backup left back? Okay.
No matter which way and where you put guys on the defensive back line, there's going to be a hole somewhere.
Because we don't even have a backup right back besides Caliscan and Philip Quinton, but like whatever.
Two guys who don't play right back.
Yeah.
Right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Anelli can play right back as well, but like we don't.
Three guys who don't play right back.
Why would we put our best midfielder at right back?
Exactly. Right back, I mean, you have DeAndre Edelin, but again, behind that, what do you have?
He's also no spring chicken.
That's true. That is true. And I think with DeAndre, I mean, the sample size is small. We didn't see him too much. But I did like what we saw from him as far as getting forward and being able to track back and being able to support in both the defense and the attack. He obviously got a goal late in the season last year. But as Josh mentioned, he's not the youngest on the roster.
Yeah, and he had some lapses last season too, right?
He did.
Wasn't perfect.
I'd probably give him a B plus. What did we give him a grade? I don't remember what grade we gave him.
I don't think we did grades.
I don't think we did either.
We haven't.
But I'd give him a B plus for what he did.
I'd give him a flat B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at the center back.
Better score than a lot of other guys got, okay?
Hey guys, breaking news.
Oh.
Chris Armas is the new head coach of KC Current.
Wow.
KC Current?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Isn't that crazy?
From a really bad
That guy got a job. That guy got a job pretty quickly. But in the women's game.
Interesting.
That's some crazy breaking news right there. And I wish
one of the best teams in the NWSL too.
Yeah, too bad the Royals can't get anything. They're Royals. You think RSL's bad right now?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on the
Royals. Ran terribly.
Don't even get me started on the Utah.
You see, I don't remember who the player was, but there was a Royals player that was on TikTok. She got traded to the Royals.
Yes. There's been a couple of former players on TikTok who have made their displeasures known.
Right, that's such a bad look.
What is going on with the Utah Royals?
I have no idea.
It's I'm surprised it's finally coming out because I feel like it's been pretty well known.
Let's dive into this real quick. Okay. Actually, because I was told a long time ago that the issue was Amy Rodriguez. And the second Amy Rodriguez left, the issue was resolved, right?
That's
Josh,
exactly what I heard.
I think you were with me when we were having that conversation.
That is correct.
But yet you continue to have players, some still on the active roster, who have come out and continue to say bad things about the Utah Royals. And it's was it really resolved? Because it sounds like it's still happening.
Yeah, clearly it wasn't. Clearly.
And that's causing a problem with players wanting to come play for the Utah Royals.
I mean, you're a professional club, and you have players that have just been told they're getting traded to you.
Yes.
On social media, doing videos, live things.
Yes.
Talking about how much they don't want to go.
That's such a bad look.
That's so bad.
And you tie that over to the men's the Real Salt Lake side of things, and you have Brian Vera, who didn't want to renew here and didn't want to stay here. Yep. And then you have Ojeda, who didn't want to renew and didn't want to stay here.
So what's going on? Is ownership just all over the what is it?
Right.
I don't know.
Because it seems to be a top-down thing.
And for every ownership change that has come through here, and for every moving on to different people running
bigger and better things.
And you think things would change, but it seems there's recurring themes, man.
We're cursed.
I don't know. I just think it's a bad look too when you got Utah produces a lot of good women soccer talent, okay?
Yeah.
But it's a really bad look to me when you got all this upcoming talent besides KK Ream. Okay, this is not involving KK Ream. She's a great player. But you got all this Utah talent who could go to the Royals and just start their professional career. But their parents and themselves don't even take the organization serious and decide to go play college instead.
Yeah, when the locals aren't wanting to join.
No, they don't even want to be in Utah.
Yeah.
They'd rather go play somewhere in Europe, go to college, play somewhere in Europe or anywhere else in the NWSL than Utah, where they grew up.
You had the number one overall pick, and Allie Sentner.
Guess who was picked right after her?
Who was it?
Brecken Mazingo, and she was one of the players on TikTok
Right.
complaining because she doesn't even make enough money where she has to do a side job doing people's nails.
That's
That's
right.
that's ridiculous.
That's right. You had an Ali Sednor, who is no doubtedly going to be a phenomenal player for the U.S. women's national team.
Yeah, she'll end up in Europe. Yeah,
and after a season and a half, she's like, "Yo, get me out of here. I'm done."
it's bad look, man.
Your franchise player.
Your number one pick.
Yep.
It's bad. It's bad. It's all
And I wonder,
bad right now, man.
and again, coming back to the Real Lake thing, I wonder if any of those conversations or if any of those topics come in when Real Lake's trying to make a move to people coming here.
I don't know.
If there is some sort of, I mean, right, because it's not news to anybody that there's been multiple ownership changes. It's not news to anybody that one of them had to be ousted out.
Right, and the team had to be folded and then reopened.
In the Royals case, they literally got moved on to Kansas City, and they had to come back because of things that have happened with organizational stuff in the past.
We're cursed, brother.
At this point, Real Lake might be. At this point, the Real Lake organization might be. But if there's one man who I want to put my faith in to steer the ship in the right direction, it has to be Jason Kreis.
It has to be. He's like our literally our only hope, it feels like.
Right. And it feels like we're at the point where if Jason can't get things going in the right direction, you might be out of luck.
Dude, I'm waiting for Jason to stage a coup. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. There are some people in the organization that we know that have overstayed their welcome. And Jason Kreis talked about it a little bit in his press conference, right, when they announced him as the director of soccer operations or whatever. And they said, look, we need somebody to come be the head of recruiting because our recruiting has not been good.
But have they?
Has any moves been made there?
If they have, they haven't announced them.
Again, I'll give Kreis time because it feels like Jason Kreis might be the last hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Genuinely.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'm back to being depressed, guys.
Great show to start off the 2026 season.
Thanks.
Hopefully
soon we come back on and we have a different tune because something cool happened.
Hopefully. It might come in March when we're 3 games into the season and Real Lake finally decided to make a move.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. Right now it is the unfortunate time where it is kind of a little bit of a waiting game and you have to wait to see what's coming down the pipeline for Real Salt Lake, but the reality is too that the preseason starts in a couple days, and then in two weeks' time, Real Lake will be on the road in Portugal, getting things rocking and rolling for the new season. And then from there, it's like drinking from a fire hose.
From there, we'll just look forward to the World Cup.
Dates of importance. MLS Media is currently happening as everybody heads to Fort Lauderdale and they get ready for their filming their commercials and getting their stuff rolling. On Friday the 9th, everybody reports to Harriman, gets their medicals, gets their fitness training, etc. On the 17th, the team will head to Portugal for their preseason leg in Europe. It starts with a match against Randers of Denmark. On the 22nd, they'll play Brøndby, home of Gavin Beavers, on the 26th. And then a preseason match against FC Dallas on the 31st. Before they head to California in early February on the 5th, they'll play 2 preseason friendlies there on the 6th and the 13th, one against Orange County, one against the Galaxy. And then from there, it's MLS season, baby.
It's coming up quickly, my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing we know, we're going to be talking about home opener.
Yeah, the Nashville got Christian Espinoza, but I don't want to talk about it. It's just gonna make us mad because
Honestly,
Ars-
I'm not mad about the Christian Espinoza one. I'm actually
Well,
pretty
just any
excited.
moves in general. Like other teams are actually making moves, and we're
Yeah.
just chilling here.
Yep. We're just in our thumbs waiting.
Like Chris Armas literally got fired and hired to a new job before we could make a good move
Before we can assemble an
and get new coaches in too. Yeah.
Well, I bet you, unless Beckerman's already announced his next stop, I would not be surprised if he's an assistant coach.
Honestly,
That'd be nice.
if Rouse Lake is able to bring back Kyle Beckerman as an assistant,
Very happy.
I'd be super stoked.
Very happy.
I would be incredibly stoked.
Bring him
Or-
back. Bring him in his
Or take it even a step further, you somehow convince Wilfred Nancy to take an assistant job, and then 3 games into the season,
There's your coach in waiting.
yeah, 3 games into the season, when Rouse Lake isn't performing, you can pull a Mike Petke and promote your assistant. Or no, he was the Monarchs. He was the Monarchs coach.
Yeah, or just, not waste the time and just do it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I mean, honestly, even with the doom and gloom and everything that we just talked about, I think that I'm still holding out hope for 2026.
Yeah, we'll see.
Even in a position where, you're not fighting for your salvation on the final day of the season, but you're just sitting in a good spot where you can, hang out in the 4th or 5th seed.
Yeah, or just see a purely developmental team and see some kids grow and then have a stud team of homegrowns next year.
Absolutely. You can go on and win 10 games in a season, but if it's just like we were talking about earlier with the Utah Jazz, if guys are coming out and they're playing better soccer and you see development happening on the field, even with a bad record, I think that would be all right with fine. I think that would be fine with us too.
Yep, have a bunch of Gozo show up, and I think we're all golden.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to throw out there? Put out into the universe before we wrap this one up, man.
Oh, we were still recording.
Yeah.
Whoops. I just I feel like I went so casual mode. Sorry.
Whatever.
All right, and with that, we'll wrap up our first ever edition of the 2026 Major League Soccer season of the RSL Show here on the KSL Sports Network. Don't forget to go like, don't forget to go subscribe, don't forget to go follow, don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. And again, we're very excited for this upcoming 2026 season. We'll talk to you guys soon as more news and more moves, hopefully, continue to develop for Rouse Lake through the course of the offseason.